Well, hello and welcome to Old People This Week. My name is Jeff. That rascal of a gentleman there, that's Mike. How are you, Mike?
How are you, Jeff? Good to see you. Hello, everyone.
Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to our podcast where we talk to aging people who are sprightly of the mind. If you're a proponent of I'm fallen and can't get up school of aging, then this podcast probably isn't for you. Each week we endeavor to bring you the stories behind the stories that you'll want to know as you head into the weekend and you want to sound really smart and intelligent to your friends when you're out playing golf or you're at the club or you're playing cards or like Mike and I imbibing at happy hour.
Where we spread the gospel.
Of course, every week we tell you to subscribe. If you subscribe, Mike is going to send you $1,000. No.
Out of your trust fund.
So subscribe and check us out on the Substack that we have going on, and on Instagram and all the other places that we're at. The lead story this week is, of course, we have to talk about the late great Carl Weathers, who passed away. Yeah, he passed away. He was 76 years old, and he's known, of course, as Apollo Creed, the granite-shaped, slugger from the Rocky films. It was a sad day when I read that.
That was a great character.
Great character, great actor. I can vividly recall in the summer of 1976, which was the bicentennial, and I was in Ohio, and I was of age to drink, and that's what we were looking forward to, is to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States by getting hammered. And somebody said, well, you got to go see this film. It stars this unknown named Sylvester Stallone, and it's an incredible boxing film.
Yeah.
I thought, what the hell? So we drove to Toledo, Ohio, went to a little theater there, and I was blown away by the entire experience. It was one of those movie moments that you can't forget the rest of your life.
Yeah, the birth of a franchise. I mean, it was just incredible.
It was incredible. After the movie was over that night, as people, after that music was playing that you were so psyched up about, everybody poured out of the theater, and I kid you not, in the light of the dim, it was 10 o'clock at night, and the light of on the sidewalk from the marquee, there was dozens of guys out front
running,
pretending to box each other because they were so excited from watching this film. It was truly great. And Carl Weathers was indelible in it. He plays a business, like an astute businessman, but smart and obviously chiseled, brutal fighter who is elected to take on this unknown Rocky, the Italian stallion, in this fight of the century. And instead, Rocky, nearly defeats him. He actually doesn't defeat him, but it's a great film. And Weathers went on to be in other movies that I love, like the Predator. He and Schwarzenegger fight what is an incredible outworldly, extraterrestrial killer, and he gets killed in that as well. And recently, I saw him. He was played a part in this television series that I watched called The Mandalorian, which is on the Disney Channel, and or Disney Plus, and he plays this sort of a president of a planet who enlists the aid of the Mandalorian to help him out.
Yeah.
So he was 76, not that old, really.
No. Younger than me.
Younger than you. And he I can't remember what they said about him. They just said he died peacefully in his sleep. They always say that, by the way. And they don't want to, especially Hollywood stars. They don't go fighting and struggling. Yeah. They all die peacefully in their sleep.
Yeah, writhing in agony. You never read that or hear that.
That's because there's a publicist next to him going, no, we can't put that.
That's good. No. Yeah.
He's not struggling at all. He's dying peacefully. Write that. And I didn't realize it, but he'd actually played pro football for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah,
that was new to me.
Yeah, no, he was a baller, man. He was a tough guy. He was a real tough guy. He didn't have to act it.
No. I read in that article that I read, it said that when he showed up to audition for Rocky, he was still, just out of professional football, really kind of didn't know
Yeah.
what he was doing. And they sent him into the room to audition. And the producer in there said, well, we don't have another actor for you to read with. You're going to have to read with the writer. Well, the writer, of course, was Sylvester Stallone.
So, yeah,
And Carl Weathers didn't like that. He thought that he didn't do his best job because he wasn't working with another professional actor.
yeah,
But Stallone liked his feistiness and hired him for the part.
yeah. No, and every time I see Stallone now, in no matter what he's doing, and I love his new current project, Tulsa, with Taylor Sheridan. Um, no matter what you see him in, or what character, what role he plays, he's always Rocky.
I was when I was a young man out in Los Angeles. I worked as an extra in some movies, and one of them was called Fist, and it starred Sylvester Stallone and playing sort of a Jimmy Hoffa character. But
Oh,
my only reason I bring this up is I stood next to him, and he
he came to
wasn't
your
like he
shoulder.
wasn't. Well, he wasn't embarrassingly short. He was
No,
just
but
he's not a tall man though.
yeah, no. I mean, you see him in the cinema, you think he's like 6'4",
Yeah,
and he's what, 5'5" or 5'6".
I would say 5'6" would to be fair. Not he's not 5'8", he's not 5'4" either. He's somewhere
Yeah,
in there. He was that,
yeah.
but he was built like a brick shithouse, and I wouldn't have messed with him in that at that time, especially. Um, Speaking of people I wouldn't mess with, this is our next story is about this 12-year-old Australian girl,
Oh my
and
God.
there's no equivocating about this. She is tougher than Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone wrapped into one because of what she did is not, not something generated by CGI or some other way. She did it for real.
Yeah,
She was in her backyard in Queensland, in Australia, and she saw she was cleaning out her pet's guinea pig's cage.
yeah.
And as she's not paying attention, she looks over and some giant snake jumped out of the bushes and put the death grip on her beloved guinea pig, whose name was Maxi Bon, by the way. And
Go
anyways,
figure.
Maxi Bomb's about to get crushed by this gigantic snake. And it was quoted as saying the snake was wrapped around his neck. It was getting tighter and tighter. Rosie said this in an interview. Her name was Rosie. What's her last name? Rosie Whiteman, 12 years old. So what she does, anyways, is her response to seeing her beloved Maxi Bon about to get swallowed whole by this snake is she grabs the snake by the tail and starts whipping it around. Now we're going to show you this video right now, and then we're going to comment on it as soon as it's done. Well, that's just incredible that she
That's
grabbed that snake and she's just with no fear. By the way, she just she
when
went nuts.
I first saw the video, I thought maybe she was doing a rope trick or like, swinging a lasso or something. I had no idea it was a snake. And then you get the details. It's like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
what child picks up a snake that's longer than she is tall and starts swinging it around like Thor's hammer?
This was a one lucky rodent. And and if you read the whole article, they talked to various experts, and evidently Australia is full of reptiles that
Deadly.
can kill you.
Yeah, deadliest snakes in the world all live in Australia.
Yeah, and so and it said, and every expert that they talked to said she shouldn't have done it because the thing could have just let go of let go of Maxibon and swung around and grabbed her.
Yeah, that's why they invented the word duh.
Duh. But you know what? You know what you'll do? It's like those stories of somebody picking up a car when they're, a woman who weighs
Yeah,
120 pounds picking up the back
lifting the
of a
car up. Yeah,
yeah, to save her children. It's the same thing. This Rosie saw that her Maxibon was about to get, squeezed to death, and she
consumed.
went berserk.
Crazy.
So give her credit.
Yeah.
Give Rosie credit.
The funniest part of the
Um,
story was, though, her Her father, after the episode, after they rescued little Maxibon, her father took the snake and threw it across the fence into the neighbor's yard.
I wonder if they like each other, the neighbors now, after the guy chucked the snake into his yard.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not going to invite the guy over for drinks after that.
No.
All right. Well, this next story also has to do with pets. This was brief, but it caught me, and it probably because I've become the new owner of a Labrador. It says all dogs go to heaven, but a bulldog might find itself heading there years before a border terrier, according to this study. It says that large breeds and breeds with flattened faces, like those pugs,
Yeah.
had shorter life spans than smaller dogs and those with elongated snouts. And female dogs live longer than male ones.
Yeah.
This was in
Pug noses, I guess, have trouble breathing ultimately, and it gets worse as they get older.
oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't have to go much further than looking at one of them to see that they have some
Yeah.
nose issues. But it's also like it sort of reflects human life when I wonder if humans with longer noses live longer than people with shorter noses.
Women with longer noses will outlive you every time.
According to this, women with longer noses will outlive everyone.
Yeah.
This next story it's a typical story, but I thought it was interesting. You sent it to me. It's about the woman who sued a company and won $105,000
Yeah.
after accusing them of firing her when she refused to retire.
Yeah. I love a story that fits like a puzzle piece into our aging lexicon. I mean, it's like, what was this company thinking?
This woman, she had guts. She said that while she was at the job, she was approaching her 65th birthday, and her managers, including her direct supervisor, were constantly coming up to her and saying, "Oh, when are you going to retire? Why don't you retire at 65? And what is the reason that you're not retiring?"
Yeah.
And then they finally fired her, and then they said they weren't going to replace her, and of course they replaced her with a younger man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid.
Did that happen to you when you retired? Did they bug you to retire?
No, they did not bug me. Though I guess if I go back now, I wonder if there's a younger 35-year-old
Yeah.
somebody doing my job.
Sitting in your office now, throwing away all your old files.
Yeah. So some younger version of me is doing it. But in the world that I worked in entertainment, seeing a person over 50 is a rarity.
Yeah.
And let alone at the end of my tenure there, I was at 70, but they were really good to me and never really bugged me about it, which was nice of them.
Yeah.
I guess that they were just doing the wait and see game with me though until I
Yeah.
or they could find something to fire me for cause for.
Yeah. Will we have to wheel him out or will he go on his own?
It was close to being wheeled out. Let's put it that way. All right. So as we always bring up our media choices there, where you and I are,
Yeah.
we like to give our advice on what to watch and what's going on in the world of media. I read an article again. I can't remember if you sent this to me or if I found it. The minute-long soap operas are here.
No, you were telling me about that. I think it's fascinating. I still haven't looked it up, but I want to watch one.
Yeah, well, I did watch one. There's just quick little vignettes that have a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
But they clearly have a teaser end to get you to watch the next one and the next one and the next one.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, with the sort of the attention span that most people have for media now, anyways, or the way we consume it. Say you like to watch, something while you're on the subway going to work, or you're in a bus, or well, this is perfect. Just some short little soap opera that you could sort of watch as much as you wanted to. Then you go to work and you can watch it later.
Most stories these days can pretty much be compressed into a 1 minute. Here's what happens at the
Well,
beginning, here's the middle, here's the end.
well, then let's go. Let's call up Martin Scorsese for a minute and talk to him about this.
Yeah, please.
So, The Killers of the Flower Moon is so long that it's foreboding.
Yeah,
It's
3 hours,
three and a
right?
half hours long,
Yeah, crazy.
and that equates to, if my math is correct, 180 plus 30, so 210 minutes of movie to have to
Movie.
sit through at one
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Now, at our age, sitting through something that's 10 minutes long is they'd have to have a bathroom installed right next to my seat at the
yeah.
theater.
Where's that'll be the next thing for our generation is movie seats with built-in toilet capability.
Yeah, I'd have to wear a diaper to this movie.
Yeah, zip open pants.
So I thought, well, I was going to call Martin and say, listen, dude, go
Yeah,
on to this site and divide your movie up into 210 1 minute long pieces.
yeah,
And
that's
then
crazy.
it might be a success that way. The titles of these things just kill me, by the way.
Yeah.
The Double Life of My Billionaire Husband. I
Okay.
Got Married Without You.
Now that one I would hope would be a little longer. I'd love to
Yeah.
see that story.
Yeah, how do you get married without you? That's a great title, actually.
It
I'd
is. It's
watch
a
it just
good
to see
title.
what the hell that means.
Yeah.
And Bound by Vendetta, Sleeping with the Enemy. That sounds like a telenovela right there. And the stories they said in this article are very formulaic. The plot lines include romance and revenge, and the characters are archetypical, and the dialogue is simple. That, by the way, describes this podcast.
And describes every bit of media you've ever consumed in your
Yeah,
life.
yeah. Every bit of media that I've enjoyed is archetypical, and the dialogue is simple. Other than that, anything beyond that is too much for this.
Yeah.
Rocky is perfect. Yo,
Perfect.
Adrian,
Yeah.
and fighting. That's all I need. Well, on to the next thing, and this is sort of a media story because it reflects on some of. Well, you'll see how it fits in there. Have you ever seen what you know what Hello Kitty is?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, it's a brand, and it's
Yeah.
mostly for what I think it was originally probably developed for young women or girls,
Yeah.
and it's but they branched out over the years to where they have Hello Kitty, not just like
Oh,
jewelry
everything.
or everything, literally
Oh,
everything.
yeah. Placemats,
And
napkins.
yeah,
Yeah. Bow
everything.
ties. Yeah. You name
Yeah.
it.
Well, I can go further than that. I had the I don't know if it's the distinction, but the sort of the one of part of my career was that I developed and created and developed and executive produced the Anna Nicole Show. And part of my job on the Anna Nicole Show was to make sure we could get her on the set because she was hard to get to work. She was just barricading herself in her room, and there was no getting her out of there. But part of my job was to go up there to the place that we rented for her, where we shot the reality show, was to get her out and to work.
Yeah.
And the way I got her out every time was to bring up something from Hello Kitty.
Get out of here.
She loved Hello Kitty. So I would go and I was buying up everything they made that had a Hello Kitty logo on it, including not just the stuff that you mentioned. They had refrigerators.
Oh my God.
They had an incredible array of merchandise that they sold with the Hello Kitty on there, and I would bring it up to her
I had
to
no
get her to
idea.
work. Yeah.
What was the most effective Hello Kitty lure that got her out the door?
Because she would come out for any Hello Kitty thing. But
Yeah.
after I ran out of Hello Kitty things to bring her, I started going to Tiffany's in Beverly Hills,
Oh,
and they
good.
had the silver tray.
Yeah.
And the silver tray had stuff that wasn't terribly expensive, like keychains and stuff.
Yeah.
And that would get her out of her room. If she
Yeah.
saw the blue bag, she was
Any,
out of the room.
yeah. Anything in the pale blue box, she's coming
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah, yeah. She saw that blue. She knew her eyes would light up, and she would come out and work. See, the problem with when you shoot a reality show, or in this case, the Anna Nicole Show, we shot for months and then had a debut.
Yeah.
So we shot from like the spring until August, and it debuted in August. from during the summer and up till August, she performed every day. She was happy. It was all great. As soon as they debuted and she saw herself and she saw what a train wreck she looked like on a
Oh no.
national TV show,
Yeah.
then she became recalcitrant and she would barricade herself behind
Oh.
her bedroom door with her dog Sugar Pie and not come out.
Oh my. So just out of curiosity, of all the footage you shot, how much ultimately got distilled down? Did you wind up like with half the footage, or
Yeah.
that's always
Well, we
intrigued me
didn't.
about?
We would shoot. Well, like a typical episode, we would take Anna out and do something. Like we knew Anna A didn't have a driver's license, and B was a stone cold racist, and didn't like it. And so we found a guy who would give driver's license lessons. Driving lessons for her, who was this Korean guy we knew she was going to hate. And plus the car that he was going to teach her in was tiny, and it had two steering wheels in there, so he could steer at the same time.
Oh
And
no.
she literally had to be shoved into this thing because Anna Nicole was a large woman. And but at any rate, so we would that kind of thing. We would go up there in the morning, shoot things with her at the house, the
Yeah.
setup, and then shoot the experience of her with this guy, and a whole day of shooting, and then maybe that night or the next day shoot the confessionals. Shoot her talking
Yeah.
about it. So probably 10 or 12 hours of shooting to cut down to a 22-minute show.
Oh wow.
Not too bad.
I always wondered about how much footage was shot and then how much was salvageable or wound up in the final edit. So that's that's pretty tremendous if you wind up with 22 minutes or 25 minutes of usable material.
Yeah, I think that we were probably pretty economical about it. I think some big time reality shows probably would spend days to get 22 minutes. We were lucky, and we were also didn't care as much. We were taking the sloppier the stuff that was funnier for us. Anyway, that's Anna's story.
When you were
Um,
talking about her riding with a Korean driving instructor,
yeah,
I had a vision of her riding with Gary from The Golden Bachelor in the Corvette that he didn't
oh
know
my
how to
God,
drive.
yeah. He was this Korean guy. Uh, she didn't like the fact she was in with him, and that he was trying to tell her how to drive.
Oh, I'll
And
bet.
so at one point he took over the wheel. Again, it had two steering wheels because it was one of those kind of trainer cars where he could take over if he had to.
Yeah.
He took over, and she got really mad and made him pull over. And then almost like a fit of anger, he pulled into a 7-Eleven. She got out of the car, slammed the door behind her, went into the 7-Eleven, and just started picking up stuff off the shelves and eating it. That's all. She was just so. That's the way she. That's the way she calmed herself almost, was to eat. And that when I first met her.
Did
Anyway,
did you leave that footage in?
yeah, we did. We did leave some of that footage in there.
I
Yeah,
love it.
some of that you can see on YouTube. You can check out some of those episodes that they were funny, but that one was particularly funny. And then she took her driver's test. Of course, we went with her to the driver's to the DMV, and I don't remember if she even passed or not.
Oh, what did they allow you to film it?
Uh, I can't remember that either. I imagine we filmed her on the outside going in, and then when she came back out, they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't allow you in there with cameras.
Yeah. Was that before GoPro? Did you have
Yes, it
GoPros
was
back then?
before GoPro. We had a regular cameras, regular sized, shoulder mounted cameras that we followed her around with.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more sophisticated equipment to shoot reality shows on now. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, our last story, we should get to that, and so with that, we can head out to into the night and do what we do best, which is
Drink gin.
yeah. Um, this is the headline: a toddler gets stuck after climbing into a claw machine looking for a toy in Australian shopping mall. So there's a lot wrong with that sentence, with
With
that
that
headline.
already.
Yeah. And of course, it takes place in Australia, which is becoming my second favorite place to goof on after Florida.
After Florida, yeah, that's two stories in a row now.
Yeah. There's the girl, the
The
incredible
snake.
girl today who spun the snake around now. And this is in Brisbane. I don't know how far that is away from Queensland or if it's part of Queensland or whatever. But the Australian police came to the aid of a 3-year-old boy after he became trapped inside a claw machine at a suburban shopping mall. Now, I don't know about Australian claw machines, but American claw machines do not have openings and they're big enough that a 3-year-old can crawl through.
For a child to get in.
No.
I mean, why wouldn't you just reach in and take the toy of your choice?
Yeah. And I don't even think they go straight in, like they go down. You'd have to go down and somehow
Yeah.
get back up inside of them. Video that they had showed the young toddler. He was already inside the machine, just sitting there, blissfully aware, they described it, of his predicament. Now, the dad kills me because
Yeah.
how do you explain to the cops that you weren't paying enough attention that your 3-year-old somehow crammed themselves into a claw machine?
Yeah. Or to
His
your wife,
yeah,
when she sees the video.
yeah. Honey,
Explain that.
honey, you're not taking the kids out again to the.
Yeah, honey, I was not in the bar drinking while the
Yeah.
kid was in the toy department.
I was watching him every second. Well, he said the way he explained it to the cops was he said his son disappeared into the claw machine's prize dispenser and got inside in a split second.
Yeah.
Something,
Yeah.
something funky. Maybe that's in Australia. That's how they. I've seen plenty of videos though about lame dads and what they do with kids when they're left alone with them.
Yeah. No, he is not going to qualify for Father of the Year award this year.
Yeah. So, at any rate, but the kid turned out, as they said, he was blissfully unaware, probably happy as a clam, being inside of a machine with a bunch of plush toys, and so
Yeah, he's having a ball.
c'est la vie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it. All right, everyone, it's time for us to say goodbye for this week. Of course, we want you to check out the task for this week on our Substack article. You can check out also on Instagram, and please subscribe. And that's it, Mike. You have a good week, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, take care. Adios.